Hello and a very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Russian Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10 for their weekend. It was a crazy end to a dominant race by Lando Norris, and then the rain came and the whole race changed on that one moment. Lando tried to stick it out, didn't work. We cover all 20 drivers and give a detailed analysis of the mark. So, random order as usual. Pierre Gasly, 0. He had a terrible weekend, and so did AlphaTauri as a team. P12 in quali, he was absolutely furious with the team for just getting it completely wrong. Terrible weekend all round, really, Gasly, yeah. Mr. Consistent, just awful. Yuki Tsunoda, 0 as well. A terrible weekend for AlphaTauri, and Yuki Tsunoda's looking out of his depth and not good enough. P17 in the race, and he's lacking confidence big time. Max, 9. Coming into the weekend, we knew he had a grid penalty from the collision with Hamilton. Then he took his engine penalties, component penalties. He went from last to P2. He was looking like he was going to finish 7th, and then he benefited from the inters. We all know he's fantastic in the wet. Clean overtakes, good race, and it was damage limitation, and he didn't lose too many points. Perez, 5, standard 5, another bad qualifying for Sergio Perez. His qualifying is horrendous, and then he finishes 9th in the race. Now he kind of got shafted really, because he went long in the first stint, was guaranteed a podium, and then just didn't come in. One of the guys that just stayed out too long, lost a ton of places. Perez needs to work on quali. Giovinazzi, 0, had a lot of incidents. FP2, he hit the wall, destroyed the car. P17 quali. Then he takes a penalty for the race. Just a very poor race from Giovinazzi. And he had no radio for the whole race. Kimi Räikkönen, 10. Back after two races missed due to COVID. And he ends up scoring points. He finishes P8. And that could go to P7 if Norris gets that penalty. So yeah, a brilliant return for Kimi Räikkönen. Been out 2 races, and he scores 8th, which could go to 7th. Mick Schumacher, 5, standard 5, very standard weekend. He was doing well in the race, but later retired. Mazepin, 5, his home race, P18 all weekend. No mistakes by Nikita, but yeah, just standard. Esteban Ocon, 5. Outshined by Fernando Alonso. He got P10 quali, P14 in the race. Very average by Ocon. Fernando Alonso, 10. P6 in the race. But he's another one who stayed out quite long and lost quite a few places. But we're seeing the old Alonso, and he looks very happy in the Alpine team. Remember, he was very toxic at McLaren. He seems happy. Brilliant race. Really long first stint by Alonso. Lando Norris, 10. Heartbreak for the Englishman. First of all, he got pole position. His first pole. Then he was P2. Past Carlos Sainz. Was dominating the race. Would have kept Hamilton behind. Would have won the race. He then made a brave call to stay out when it was raining. When Hamilton pitted, that's when Norris should have pitted. He didn't. He stayed out, cost himself the win, nearly smashed his car up. He went for the gamble, it failed. He got fastest lap, just heartbreak for him. And he'll probably get a penalty for crossing the white line. Finished 7th, but could end up out the points. Heartbreak, should have been his first pole and first win. Daniel Ricciardo, 10. He finished P4 in the race, fitted the intermediates at the right time. Massive confidence boost after Monza. Very solid race. And he kept Lewis behind for a very long period. Good call, good overtakes. Leclerc 5, took a penalty into the weekend. Was having a good race, but then he's another one who didn't make the right call. Carlos Sainz 10. P2 quali, was leading the race, and then got passed by Lando. Then he was looking like he was going to be off the podium, but the Inters helped him and he ended up finishing third. He needed that after a lot of crashes. Great start, and he led the race for Ferrari. Bottas 5. Great in the practice sessions, goes missing in quali and the race. He's a Russian specialist. If it was dry, he would have been on pole. But yeah, and then he took penalties. In the race, he was awful. He was in 14th, but then the wet stuck the Inters on and ended up finishing 5th. But he would have actually been out the points if it stayed dry. Awful. Lewis Hamilton 8. He won the race. He gets his 100th win, but you can't give him 10 because he hit the jack man. That's one mistake. He came in the pits in quali, hit the wall, damaged his wing. Then he spun in quali. 100 wins, perfect strategy, and he did the right call. The team did the right call, and he regains the title lead. But you can only give him 8 because he made a lot of mistakes in the qualifying. But 100 wins is remarkable. Lance Stroll 5. P11 in the race. He hit Sebastian Vettel. Bad weekend for Aston Martin with no points. Vettel 5. Had a great FP1. P12 in the race. Contact with Stroll. Yep. Not a great weekend for Aston. Latifi 0. Another one who took a grid penalty. Outshined by George Russell. Retired late on with a mistake. And then we have George Russell 10. World class in qualifying. Finished P3. Once again delivers. Outperforms the car. Can't wait to see what he can do in a competitive car in 22. Yeah, good first stint by George, but he ended up finishing P10. And that's 3 out of 4 races he scored points. So, yeah. World class driving. Let's check. We covered everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there we have it. Driver ratings for the Russian Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10. Next up, Turkey. Title battle still going on. It's just going to be epic. It's going to go down to the wire. We'll cover F1 videos in the break. If you are an F1 fan, subscribe now. A carnage, crazy Russian Grand Prix where Lando should have been the winner, but his gamble failed. Comment down below. We'll always reply. Quite a few 10s, quite a few 0s. Russell, Ricciardo, Norris, Alonso, Kimi Räikkönen. Couple of 0s, Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda, Giovinazzi, Latifi. So yeah, comment down below. We'll always reply. Adios.